for the guy. But at every single turn where I think he's getting better, I can never tell what's performative and what's not. I will say he did one of the best career moves he's ever done. He actually started this whole separate private YouTube channel called Kai's Mind, where he was like really trying to like grow and like understand who he is as a person. It's called Kai's Mind, and he completely stopped uploading 3 weeks ago. You know, it was great, and it was really good for his PR, and it was fun for maybe, a month, and then he completely gave up on it the moment he got all the positive PR from it. So, let's watch a whole video about Cash Out. Let's get into it.
A location, creating, and implementation intention is a strategy you can use.
Cenat is the living, breathing nightmare that Friedrich Nietzsche spent his entire life trying to warn humanity about.
Okay, that is an insane intro. Also, I've been reading a lot more too. I do believe that drinking more water, going to the gym, and reading some books is the best easy changes that you can do right now to completely transform your life. 100% do it.
When you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
True.
Some people see Kai as lucky, a wildly successful, ambitious, self-improving. Others say he's performative, a try-hard, even copying Kanye's whole aura. But I see something...
I mean, to be fair, the clothing line was a massive fucking L, I'm not gonna lie.
...way darker. I see the exact cultural disease that Nietzsche diagnosed over 100 years ago, fully realized and optimized for the internet age. He is Friedrich Nietzsche's worst fear to me right now.
Tonight, charges filed against a social media star for allegedly sparking a massive riot.
Okay, it wasn't allegedly sparking a massive riot. He did it, and everybody knows he did it.
In Manhattan's Union Square, leading to 65 arrests and multiple injuries.
You have to pull up.
2 days before the incident, he posted online that he was going to be holding a giveaway.
We gonna ask y'all random.
So I remember when he did this, and personally, I thought it was crazy because I know how wild that area is already.
Mic off.
Just in general, with the volume of traffic during like midday, and that area is like super popular. So I knew this area was a problem. I thought this area was a problem too. But you know, let's see his take. And here's the thing too: you can't really think that far ahead. Especially, you got to give Kai some credit for that, being he was young. He's still a young dude. He's still young. He's still figuring things out. He's still making mistakes, and I don't think anybody should be holding him to the fire in that regard. I don't think so personally. Like I said, he's still a young dude, and if I was his age, and there's people out there that's older than him that still do things that somebody his age should be doing. So I didn't hold it to him.
Questions, bro. If you get it right, boom, you get a PS5, just like that.
No problem.
Like, what do you expect's gonna
Also, what is this shit quality for the video that he's watching? Anyway,
happen when you have an audience that large? You say, hey, everybody congregate on this big exact area. Obviously, shit's gonna get crazy at that size.
List of gaming consoles, gear, and $100 gift cards. The NYPD saying the crowds, made up of mostly underage kids, went from unruly to violent fast.
It actually is hilarious. So, like, all of like the previous things we were calling slander that.
also, they fucking destroyed that part of the city. Like, if this is just the young crowd, they did that to this part of the city. Now imagine on a bigger scale.
Only kids watch Kai Cenat was like undoubtedly proven true. I'm sorry. Who else is watching just a motherfucker? Well, I was about to say who else is going to watch a random motherfucker scream about shit all the time, but my audience is a bunch of 30-year-old fat white men. Coincidence?
I won't say he's wrong because I just know his name and I don't really watch him. I just know his name.
Definitely also bald. Interesting.
You might think that was chaotic, but it is literally the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Kai sent a signal to pop up and thousands of people responded in violent way. No thought process in between. No one asking themselves, should I do this? Is it safe? Or what are the consequences?
They don't care about PS5.
None of that exists. The signal came and the herd moved like a flock of sheep. Nietzsche had this concept called herd morality. Basically what it means is that people don't actually think for themselves anymore about right and wrong.
So I do want to touch base on the herd mentality thing. I personally have a problem with that because in this day and age, way too many people do this shit. You'll see think piece, I call them think pieces. You'll see them posted on like short form things, specifically like TikTok, maybe Instagram Reels. Um Not so much YouTube Shorts. I don't really see much like of that on YouTube, but specifically I see it a lot on TikTok where somebody will say something and then you can check the comments and you'll see so many people agree with the message being presented. And honestly, the message, it's not always the same, but you don't see a lot of people in there that are thinking the opposite of whatever it is that's presented. And those people who are speaking out of something from a different perspective, they're always getting dragged, or they're always being treated as if what they're saying is so outlandish and so crazy because they don't agree with the person's primary point, even though they're not attacking anybody. They're just saying, hey, I don't agree with this. I see your point, but this is my take on it. And you can't be a free thinker in this world. Everybody that I've seen thus far, well, everybody's a pretty broad statement, but a lot of people don't think for themselves. And it's very true, especially now.
Oh, they don't, bro. People can't even form it. Like, people can't even get their own opinions these days.
See?
They have to go and they have to find somebody else to give them their opinions. It's so bad.
See, and this is the thing too that I personally, I'm not from a generation that is not susceptible to this kind of thought process, but it's very true. Somebody can say something polarizing, and if enough people agree with that point, people will start saying that that's how what they think. People even regurgitate the same words, and you'll know it's not a part of their vocabulary. For example, one word that I start to see all the time now, and I mean I see it all the time to the point where I noticed it because it's a weird thing to just notice, is the word egregious. Listen, I don't think I'm the smartest man in the world, but I am very, very keen on reading. I like reading. I do educate myself, especially if I don't know something. I read. I have books back here, not as many books as I wish I had because I did leave some back in my home state, and but still, having a vast vocabulary is okay. But I'm getting very, very worrisome because I keep seeing people use the exact same words in their conversations, and it makes me think, is that something you use on a daily basis, a part of your vocabulary, or are you saying it because you saw someone else say it and now you want to start using those terminologies, you know?
This is why I always encourage my audience to fact check everything they hear on the internet, no matter where it's from. Fact check everything.
Think for yourself. Fact check everything. Even if the opinion sounds like it's good, fact check it. I don't give a shit about an opinion. Everybody's got opinions. You know what else everybody has? Assholes.
Thing that you hear.
They just do whatever keeps the group comfortable and happy. The herd wants to belong to something. They want entertainment. They want safety. And they'll throw away any principle they claim to have if it gets in the way of those things. So when Kai says pop out, the herd doesn't think. They just move. Because thinking means individual responsibility, and the herd doesn't want that weight. They want someone to follow, someone who makes them feel part of something bigger. And Kai is perfect for this because he represents pure spectacle and chaos. Just entertainment in its rawest form. And Mafia Thon 3 is where you see this at full scale.
Dude, I think it is so fucking corny that all that happens is Kai does a subathon, raises millions of dollars, goes on break, says he's having a mental health struggle, then comes back to beg for more money. And like, so many streamers are just professional beggars at this point, man. It's so sad.
We are here!
I would like to also say I am very, very guilty of watching the Mafia Thon 3. I did watch it. I didn't watch every day, but I did watch the Mafia Thon because I was so curious to see what was taking place. Having the Jabberwockies is kind of a big deal. Kai Cenat's from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx too, okay? If I'm not mistaken, me and him from our the very same neighborhood. If not, he's a couple of streets down. But the Jabberwockies, that's appealing for a certain demographic of people, and I thought it was cool. I got to see them perform, and you know, whatever. That's off topic.
Chat, we are officially in Mafia Thon 3. Round of applause.
Like, what? Why are people cheering for a begathon? I will never understand this. Like, listen, I've done subathons in the past because I was $1.1 million in debt and I had to survive. But who is
being $1.1 million in debt is a fucking insane thing. That is fucking insane. Am I crazy for thinking that's fucking insane? Because I think that's fucking insane. Holy shit. Anyway,
excited about giving a multi-millionaire more of their money? Especially at an absurd degree where bro was charging $6 million to shave his head. That's insane.
See, when you look at it that way, okay, sure, that's what it looks like. I didn't see it that way. The way I see it is, this is his TV show. The Mafia-thon is his TV show or whatever. A lot of streamers still do this. They don't ask for there's only one streamer that I know for a fact that I watch, and I completely support how he approaches streaming, and that's Osmongold. Osmongold doesn't have advertisement. He doesn't suggest people to subscribe, but when people subscribe, obviously he's appreciative of it, but he says it a lot more than often. He doesn't need our money. He doesn't need your money. He's doing pretty good for himself. It's not the case for everybody. Mind you, Kai Cenat is a 21-year-old guy, okay? He's trying to get his money. And maybe this is a race thing. Maybe it's race related, but I can understand his mindset. He wants to end whatever financial struggles he's experiencing or he has experienced or he's seen, and the environment that we grew up in. I gotta tell you, making enough money to get out of that environment, there's never enough money. So he's gonna keep chasing the bag no matter what it is. And unfortunately, people will throw shots at him and point it out. Again, I'm not defending Kai Cenat in any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving my take on it because the way I see it is, he's another young man trying to make it. And let's say the roles were switched and he was someone else. Let's say this was a 21-year-old ninja and he was doing this. Would I feel the exact same way? Probably. I'm not going to have similar things or be able to compare myself with them, but I can completely understand. And firstly, let's bring it back to the topic of $1.1 million in debt. In debt. Okay? Just think about that.
Mafia-thon 3
$6 million
ran for an entire month, and millions of people actually rearranged their days just to watch this one guy existing on camera. And the wild part is, most of them could not even explain why they cared that much. What's odd is that most of the time nothing special was even happening. Kai wasn't working toward a big ending or some final payoff. He was just there, doing regular stuff like talking, reacting, and living his life on camera. He was just
like legit, people who do subathons where all it is the normal shit that they do, but now you get to watch them sleep. It's like, bro.
But it was IRL. I thought it was obviously the sleeping part. I don't watch the sleeping shit. That shit's weird to me. That, oh, watch me sleep is weird. But while he was asleep, he had other things happening. He gave the viewers the ability to fuck with him while he was asleep and everyone else that's there. He also had what's his name? Malik, the IRL Miles Morales guy. He had him there. And again, people, that's what that generation is into. Tectone is a 31-year-old man, if not a little bit older than that, but I know he's in his 30s. You're not going to fully understand that. Welcome to your 30s. There's a whole new generation of kids, a whole new generation of people who are interested in this. And yeah, them donating money to a millionaire is pretty outlandish, but you got to remember something. Kids at that age don't have money. Somebody is providing that money for them. And there's a kid who's probably watching that, and he's going to be inspired to pursue something in this regards. Because remember, IRL streaming is such a big thing right now. It's not the days where it used to be. Like, for example, reaction videos They always have been a thing. IRL streaming is the next thing. And then after that, there's going to be another thing. We have VTubers. We have all of these new forms of streaming and content creation. You got to be aware that sometimes you're not going to agree with everything. You're not going to agree with everything. But this is what that generation does. Mind you, he is still on the cusp. He just turned to a fucking a legitimate adult. Now he's going to have to find his way. And apparently he's still trying to find it. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that take, but that's just me.
There's no way you're that down bad for cash, bro. There's no way.
Begging for subs most of the time.
Again, it's not about being down bad for cash. It's about stacking your fucking bricks.
With another 100.
Like, I get if small streamers do this shit. I don't understand when the top dogs do this shit.
I want to see the most intense sub battle of all time. How can we do a sub war? How can we do a sub war, Chad? The first 30 minutes of me taking a shower, it is called Dirty 30. Where while I'm in the shower, if you guys sub up, you guys can make me more dirty.
And some...
You know, I'm quite proud to admit that I've never watched more than 5 minutes of Mafia Thon 3. But the fact that people celebrated this shit with some goofy ass begging tactics like this is insane. Like, I'm glad he read, because he also sounds like an autistic 8-year-old while he's saying this shit. Bro, good. I want to vomit watching this shit.
How that was enough to keep millions of people locked in. This is what Nietzsche called the last man. The last man doesn't really want to struggle toward anything anymore. Not because they are bad people, but because struggle feels exhausting. They want comfort. They want something that fills the time. They want to feel connected without having to risk much or change anything about their own lives.
Now you only said that because what? He also, I said I'll put 30,000 on his fucking head because he said he's gonna kidnap me. And I said, fuck up. You said that in the car. You put 30,000 on my head, right now, and I'm gonna kill you right now. If you put 30,000, the world think you he allow you to do.
So I watched this happen in real time, right? I watched this Mafia-thon because I was genuinely curious. That first clip, fucking hilarious to me. Because again, I'm from this space. I understand the fuck they're doing. I understand what they're talking. I understand why they're talking that way. That shit was funny. That's funny. You probably don't understand that. If you don't understand that, that's okay. But I'm here to help you understand that. That's typical banter, okay? Because there's nothing in that would be deemed as serious. Like, are you serious talking about that shit on live stream? That nobody would ever do that if they're really gonna do that. But this clip here, this was a real thing, and I think Kai did the right thing in that moment. I don't know if he's gonna show that, but we'll see. Okay, so he didn't. It didn't show. So they were really arguing, and Kai steps in and tells. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. He was telling the other guy basically that Rakai is a child. Rakai is a child. Rakai is a child. Yo, calm down. Rakai is a child. That's not added into this because there are things that you have to pay attention to. Just because you think this is brain rot and all this other shit, that's not the case. There's some things that are taking place. That's why you have to see. The way I look at it is, if people are pretending to be something, they have to pretend the whole time. So an IRL stream like this, where the cameras are constantly rolling, you have to keep that persona up. And if you're not really doing it, you'll start cracking. You'll start cracking because you're so used to the cameras not being on all the time, or you know the cameras aren't going to be on all the time, but now you're doing a 24-hour stream. This was a 30-day stream. I'm sorry, but I watched a majority of it, and I still stand on it was entertaining, to say the least.
What?
Also, Ray is fucking hilarious to me.
How the fuck do people watch this shit, bro?
Yo, let me know.
Hell yeah. Like he's got to be a plant, right?
And what the fuck is that? Okay? I'm tired of people saying certain people are plants. Okay? If you want to say that somebody is a plant because of whatever uh they fall into and how much popularity they get, then all content creators are plants. All content creators are plants. And here's why I'm going to stand on that. Because why is it that every fucking time there's somebody new who's getting extreme popularity, case in point, even now with the burnt peanut bullshit, people saying burnt peanut is a fucking plant. How? Because he's doing well? He's gaining popularity? That's ridiculous to me. There are people who are doing the work, and there are ways to find out whether or not it's bullshit. That's just it.
There's no way that he's not a plant, right? Like, he has to be a plant.
I'm the new Diddy with all that. No. Bro, now I'm gonna talk.
And content like this fits perfectly into that mindset.
Again, if you're not from the space where this humor is grown from, you won't find it entertaining or funny. I think that's funny. I think Ray J on that stream was the most hilarious shit ever, because I think Ray J is fucking hilarious. Some people will probably watch these clips out of context and go, "Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is this guy?" or whatever. That's just my take, and I could be wrong. So, you know.
It gives you noise, energy, and a sense of being part of something without asking you to change anything about your own life. You just stay there and let that degenerated stuff keep going. And Mafia Thon 3 is basically a 30-day machine built for exactly that. I'm not saying Kai is the last man. I'm saying...
Didn't you praise him at all, Techie? Yeah, I praised him because he was trying to get his head straight, and he went on a spiritual journey where he tried to read. And that's why I started off the video saying, well, that was really cool. It lasted for 1 month, and then he gave up on it. That's what I said was good. And then he took that one good thing that I was actually incredibly happy for him for, because obviously he needs to develop more as a human being, and then he just stopped. So, yeah, that is what I did. But then he gave up on that change. It's kind of like how I'll be very supportive.
How do you know? Do you know him on a personal basis? Do you talk to him every day? Do you see him every day? Do you have full conversations with him? Do you know people in his camp to get this information from? Because here's why I asked this. Just because he's not posting it doesn't mean he's not doing it. A problem that I fucking have is that if you're not presenting it to the world constantly, people will say you're not doing it. How do you know? How do you know? I don't. Are you an insider? Maybe you're the plant. And this is not an attack. This is just an observation. If I am not constantly watching somebody, and if I think somebody's a plant, and I don't see them doing something, is it safe to assume that that's what's happening? If I see using his example, a person who is quote unquote out of shape, fat, they're not publicly posting, oh, day 47 of my fitness journey and things like that. Does that mean that they stopped doing it? Or did they realize it's better to operate in silence so that nobody knows your next move? Or you're more comfortable operating in silence? And if he is on what you would deem as a spiritual journey, maybe he hit an epiphany and realized, I don't need to broadcast this. Let me just operate the way I'm operating. Again, this is just my personal take and my own speculation on this, but I think it's very distasteful to discredit whether or not he's actually still doing this thing.
When a fat person goes into the gym, and then I'll be disappointed when they stop after a month. Shouldn't ya?
And he's the thing that makes the last man feel like they're actually doing something with their life. He's the machine. But here's the thing about this machine. It doesn't just keep you entertained, it asks for stuff back. Just like Kai begging for money and subs from his 10-year-old fan base. And after all that, he did something nobody expected.
I feel like sometimes people need to self-reflect and take a step back from the broad perspective of what their life has been.
Very
I
true.
believe that there is
I agree.
more to this world that is
We
much
agree.
greater than myself.
Basically,
Absolutely.
he went to Italy and he quit overthinking to work on his clothing company.
That is why I quit.
People were genuinely angry about it. Like, if you truly quit something, you don't need to make a big production out of it. The internet cooked him completely. Performative final boss. Skip to the end and it's just a...
See, and that's a problem too. Skip to the end and it's just a clickbait ad for his new clothing brand. So what? He is a content creator. He's creating content. He is working on clothing. He wants to do a clothing brand. So he had to give the insight of he stepped back, stepped away, yada, yada, yada. And now he's presenting the thing that he's now working on. If Mr. Beast did this, would we have a problem? Would we have a problem? If any big creator was to do something in this regard, would we have a problem?
clickbait ad for his new clothing brand.
I mean, true.
And then right after all that...
And you know what's crazy? All those haters were right. Like, legit. All those haters were right.
Noise, Kai does something...
Right about what? Him stepping away? Him promoting his brand? Because that's what you guys do, right? As content creators, that's what we do. We present something, and then we have something to provide people with. Now, again, he's a top dog, and I get the not pushing it to people. Oh, gimme, 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 gimme. Here's something new. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Sure, I completely understand that. But he's on to something new, and he's passionate about it. He's, again, a young guy who it was giving an opportunity that a lot of people in his... Okay, let me explain this. Let me explain this. Let me explain this for the audience. Okay. I'm complete disclaimer, and I really hate that I have to include this in there. Kai Cenat is 21 years old, right? He is a young black man from the Bronx who is 21. Do you understand how big of a deal it is to be a 21-year-old black male from the South Bronx? It is a huge thing. It is a huge thing. I know people that didn't make it past 20. I've witnessed people get taken out, killed, murdered before they hit 21. Like, quite literally, I've seen some terrible things. For him to make it to 21, that means he's got the pass. Now he can achieve whatever it is he wants to achieve and pursue. He wants to get into fashion, then allow him. When he's 25, that's when we can start wheeling it back and be like, okay, what is he doing differently? Is he doing the same crap? Is he doing the same slop? Is he still presenting things in the same manner? When he hits 30, same conversations. Because that's the thing. The conversations have to change. Things have to change. So we just, again, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but I'm trying to give a perspective that's unbiased, but also insightful in that regard. Because he's trying new things. Because think about it. He was on Vine, if I'm not mistaken, and then he moved on to another platform, and then he had such a following, he became a streamer on Twitch, and now he's seen the top of the mountain for Twitch. Now he wants to go to another mountain. So let him try. Just let him try. Stop hating on people for trying. So fucking what if he's a multimillionaire? Let him keep trying things, and then he'll find the thing that brings him solace. And then you don't have to make these videos anymore and complain about it. Because that's all people do is complain about the next big dog. That's all it's ever been.
Interesting.
For the past few weeks, I have been uploading videos to my secret channel this entire time. And if you guys want to see what have been going on, click the top link in the description. It's called Kai's Mind.
What a surprise. He already had a secret channel this whole...
Rebranding. He's trying to rebrand. Because he's trying to get away from something. He's trying to get away from whatever it was he was creating for himself already. And so what if he already had... Look, he has 257,000 subscribers. Is it really a secret?
whole time. And it's pretty cool that
he's been trying to educate himself. He wants to boost his vocabulary. Okay, he's taking us on a journey.
He uploaded 85 videos of him trying to improve himself.
It was awesome. I actually watched a couple of these. It was fucking great.
Yeah, I agree.
Spontaneity. How do I pronounce that? Honestly,
he's learning.
The reason why I started reading was because I didn't like the way I spoke. To be honest, I wanted to articulate myself better, and
absolutely, I think it was a great choice because he does sound dumb as fuck every time.
And I agree too. I've been told a lot of the times the way I talk, I'm very knowledgeable of words. I'm not a wordsmith, but I'm very articulate. I know how to communicate. I think I would say I'm expert tier when it comes to English, because I can talk to people and explain things. There are times where I need things broken down because I don't think I have the comprehension that some other people have. So I am very much in the space of, oh, let me at least see what the fuck you're talking about if I don't understand it. But I do think educating yourself and being very, very, very articulate is a key thing in life in general, especially if you're an American. You should always be able to articulate yourself.
He talks, it's true.
Because I want to improve and articulate myself better. I am reading to articulate myself better.
Also, just to throw this out there, reading comic books, that is also a great way to learn, because you can learn how to read in different contexts. Comic books are great for that. Also subtitles when you're watching movies. Me personally, my ability to comprehend certain thought structures came from playing video games. And one game in particular was Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. I fucking love the script for that game. Shout outs to Soul Reaver.
20 minutes of this book so I could get better at articulating myself.
His reading had become a laughingstock for everyone. In an era where seeking knowledge is a joke. It's kind of true, isn't it? If someone really trying to articulate themselves into a better person, who am I to talk shit?
Absolutely. Never shit on a man who's trying to improve himself.
100% agree.
Never make fun of a fat person in the gym. You should be proud. You should be applauding them, genuinely. When someone can recognize their weaknesses and attempt to improve upon them, obviously you should be there to support them.
But here's what gets me. The whole point of self-improvement is that it's supposed to be quiet. It's supposed to be stuff nobody sees. But Kai is filming all of it. He's putting a camera on the most private version of himself and uploading it for millions of people.
I actually disagree. I think it's completely fine to try to showcase your weaknesses in your self-improvement process. Much like many channels who show that they're very fat and attempting to lose weight, this can be used to inspire others. So I don't really think that this is too big of an issue myself to have Kai's back here.
I don't think so either. I always applaud people trying to improve their lives, no matter what they're doing. There's something about me that I'll always stand on. If you say you want to do something to support yourself or to improve your life or whatever, I'm the fucking first person that's going to clap for you. And I'm also going to be the first person to constantly be on your ass about it. Not because I'm annoying, but because I expect people to hold me to the same standards that I hold everyone else to. So if and it rubs people the wrong way. Trust and believe, it rubs people the wrong way. I've pissed off so many people because I've just been like, hey, are you still doing that thing? Hey, have you tried this? Hey, you know, people don't like that. And I don't give a fuck. That's how I'm going to operate for the rest of my days. Because if you want to be a better person, don't tell me. Because I'm going to hold you accountable.
Once again, guys, I'm not a hater of anybody. I try to keep it very fair for everybody.
This is what Nietzsche described as the costume. It basically means people look like they're becoming better versions of themselves on the outside, but nothing underneath is actually changing. This MF never finished a book in his life. Remember LeBron trying to convince everyone he read books? Must be something with the Nike contract. I genuinely don't know if Kai is actually changing or if he just figured out a new way to milk more money.
Sure, I mean, I understand the skepticism with his prior reputation, but yeah, and I even more understand the skepticism now, seeing that now that he got all the good PR from having this channel, that he gave up on it instantaneously.
Funny part is, Nietzsche warned this behavior a century ago.
Hold on, I gotta pee. Okay, I'm back. Hang on to your butts.
He did not call them liars. He said they were wearing a costume. Once you hit record, real change and perform change look exactly the same on screen.
Okay, so I agree with this take too. I do. I know people who pretend to be somebody they're not when they're live because they want to be wholesome, they want to be non-polarizing, quote unquote, play it safe. I find that shit cringe as hell. I think that is a fucking cringe thing. Just be your authentic self, and the people who like you will show up, and the people who don't like you won't bother you, or they'll talk shit about you. They'll do one of the two.
But the costume goes even deeper than being performative on screen, because there is one more layer, and I think this is actually the darkest part of the whole picture. Cenat announced his new clothing brand Vivette before building the schools in Africa.
Yeah, he's been saying he was going to be building these schools.
I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I do know he's been saying that. And I'm not keeping tabs on that. Because, to be fair, I just don't have the time to be digging into people's lives like that.
Africa for a very long time, and we have seen no progress so far.
The foundation,
or at least no meaningful progress. We've just seen a lot of empty words.
To raise 1.2 million. Mafia Thon 2 funds raised that we did was 976,000.
My only takeaway from building the school is who's going to maintenance the school.
And yeah, we need a total investment of 5 million to get us through the first day of class. Like that's like to get to.
Kai raised over $1 million for a school in Nigeria. That's real. The project is still going. They said it takes at least 2 years to finish. But right around the same time that school is being built, he also launches his own clothing brand. And by itself, that doesn't sound like a huge deal. People can do more than one thing at the same time,
sure,
right? But there's this idea that goes way back in psychology called moral licensing. What that basically means is that when you do one big, visible, good thing, your brain starts using that as proof that you're a good person.
Of course.
And once you have that proof, everything else you do after...
Look at his fucking head! Oh!
Oh my god. Oh, dude. That man has a drive-in theater for a forehead.
Holy shit! Fucking Megamind! What is that shit?
Gets a free pass.
I watched Mafia Thon on KSI's forehead.
This is where it connects back to the costume, because Nietzsche wasn't just warning about people faking self-improvement. He was warning about people who use real good deeds as a costume. You built a school, so launching a brand feels fine now.
Those shoulder pads are screaming, let's go fight Frieza.
You donated, so making money off your name doesn't look like greed anymore.
And I'll be real. You know who has absolutely atrocious vibes but has done so much good for the world? Mr. Beast, man. I swear, every time I see him, where he just has to be like normal and like drop like the persona for the shows, dude has the worst vibes I have ever seen out of any human being in my life. Like, bro seems like a straight up dog shit human being when like the cameras aren't on. It's so bad, bro. It's so bad, but I still love his content. I've watched all of Beast Games. I watched all of his videos. But my God, bro, like, I think it is going to be stunning how full of himself that guy is. It's actually nuts. He's the reason I'm starting to dislike the new generation? No, that's because of 6'7".
The one good thing becomes the shield that covers everything else. So here's where all of this lands. A guy who died in 1900 basically wrote the blueprint for all of this before any of it existed. Look, I don't hate Kai. I don't even watch his streams.
Sure.
He's probably one of the biggest streamers out there right now. But that's exactly why this matters. Because what Nietzsche was warning us about wasn't just about one person. It was about what happens when millions of people stop thinking for themselves. When they trade real growth for the performance of it. When they let spectacle replace purpose. Kai isn't the problem. He is the symptom. The real question is, are you
how apropos that Mr. Beast popped up right after this?
part of the herd that just moves when the signal comes? Or are you actually thinking about what you are consuming and why?
Once again, I think the Kai doubters were kind of like, you know, they were a little bit intense when he was trying to improve himself, calling him fraudulent. But the problem is that Kai proved them all right when he stopped uploading to that secret channel. Because he got the good PR and he dipped. And I'll be real, that's a horrible fucking look.
Okay, so it wasn't a bad video. He wasn't really bashing Kai Cenat directly. He wasn't saying he's a piece of shit. He's not saying all of these things. He's just saying his strategy was very poor. It was a very poor strategy, especially when it comes to being seen in a positive light in public eye. I don't watch a lot of Tectone videos. I don't. I really don't. I'm like I said, I know his name, and I was curious to see how his thought process works. And I gotta say, it's not too far off. It's not too far off at all. He seems like a guy with good morals, so I'm gonna take it as that was in good faith. Anyway, let's see what other shit we got going on.